Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have with us Zack Boothe. Zack was an entrepreneur in the window cleaning business, but he always had a dream of jumping into the real estate game. He took a leap of faith, walked away from window cleaning with a handful of years, was making over $1 million per year in real estate investing. But Zack now has his own team and spends much of his time giving back, helping others get started in the competitive game of real estate, specifically in the niche of wholesaling, which is why I am very excited to have Zack here, because I always recommend people start in wholesaling if they don't have any experience in real estate. So Zack, I'm super happy to have you here. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I know you're calling down from Brazil, so I appreciate you hopping on. I know there's a time difference here, and I know you're struggling with your health issues down there, and so we're getting good vibes here. We're going to start out with your story. Why don't you go back to the beginning and tell us how you got started in real estate?
Yeah, I'd be happy to share my story. So forgive me if I cough and hack. I've got COVID, so I'm dealing with that, guys.
No worries.
Yeah, life's been crazy the last few weeks. Anyways, I was a window washer, and I started that when I was 17 years old. And from the outside looking in, I was very successful. A decade later, I had 3 trucks and 13 employees, and we did okay. I mean, I was paying my bills, but it was month to month, and nobody aspired to be a window washer. So I had massive amounts of turnover. I was constantly out on the job site because someone called in sick, someone quit. My shoulder was wearing out. And more than anything, I wasn't really able to provide the life for my family I wanted to. And I had picked up a duplex about 3-4 years into window washing. It was when I first got married. And I was living in one half and renting the other half. I was like, man, this is the freaking easiest money I've ever made. Right? Like, I want more of this. This is great. But I kept hitting all these obstacles. I didn't have the down payment money for a second rental. I didn't have the credit score. Well, I did have the credit score, but I didn't have the debt to income. I had all these obstacles, right, to get more debt, to buy more rentals. So I started learning and researching and listening to podcasts just like this. Like, how do I get started? Where do I get started? What do I get started with? And like, there's so many options, right? Real estate investing, there's so many options. What to invest in, your exit strategies, everything. Like, it was information overload. So I decided to get a mentor, and I paid 10 grand for that mentor. I learned a lot, but it was more of the same, more information overload, no action steps, no clear plan of what to do and how to do it. And I ended up giving up and feeling a little discouraged, feeling like gurus were just out there to take my money. He became a pretty major skeptic, right? And a few years later, I happened to meet a window cleaning client that was an extremely wealthy developer. Got hearing his story, and at the end of the conversation, 2-hour conversation, I told him I wanted to pick up 2 rentals that year. And he gave 2 properties that he didn't want to deal with anymore, seller finance. $500,000 purchase price. Yeah, $500,000 purchase price with less than $4,000 down was his requirement.
Wow.
Yep. But even better, there was over $150,000 in equity in those properties, which I ended up cashing out a year and a half later when I sold those properties to the tenants.
Love it.
Right. So I had that experience and I was like, wow, someone way more wealthy than me, way more educated than me, liked me and didn't want to deal with these properties. So he just handed them over to me. I found my first motivated seller. I found the first person that didn't care about the money as much as the convenience of just being done with them, right? Letting some young, hungry dude deal with it.
Yep.
And I was like, wow.
That's funny. And I don't want to jump into your story here, but I had the same experience. You dealt in single family, multifamily. I had that experience in mobile home parks. And like, there was just a guy, he was a potato farmer. He grew, that was his business. He made millions and millions of potatoes. He had this mobile home park, didn't want it. And so he basically seller financed it for less than the park was worth. We put so little down. That just goes to show that like your story is not, it's not unique. I mean, it is unique to you, but it's not unique in that it can be replicated out there. There are people who just have these properties who are ready to let them go. So, all right, I jumped into your story. Keep going though.
No, I love it. And I love that you have that. And I think that most people don't. Most people don't have that story. Most people are skeptics because they haven't seen that happen. They hear people like me and you say, oh, you can find sellers that aren't as interested in the money. And they're like, that doesn't exist, not in this market. And they hear some real estate agent that thinks they know everything that says, you can't find off market deals in this market. It doesn't exist, right? It doesn't exist. And, after I had that experience happen, I became a believer again, right? I really feel like it was divine intervention in my life. I feel like it was God, right? People can believe whatever they want to believe, but I really felt that way. And so I went for it again. I got another mentor. I paid $9,000. He gave me the action steps. I walked away from window cleaning, took that leap of faith, and I quickly started doing deals. I did my first wholesale deal a few months later after that second coach. I quit and I just ran with wholesaling. I did just over 100,000 the first year, just shy of $500,000 the second, and over 1.2 million the third year. And one of the big reasons that I was able to make those massive jumps is, the 100,000 to the $500,000. I put together a marketing system that I call my Driving for Dollars Mastery System, and that is, exactly how we find these off-market deals, right? Because I don't care if you want to rent properties, you want to pick properties up, seller finance and rent them. If you want to flip them, if you want to wholesale them, it doesn't matter how you want to make money on the deals. You got to find the deal first.
Yep.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's single family, doesn't matter if it's multifamily, commercial, whatever it is, you got to find the deal. That's where it starts.
Yeah. Fantastic book, Multifamily Millions, talking about multi-million-dollar syndications, giant apartment complexes. And he says, real estate investing is marketing. If you can't get that between your two ears, you will not be in business for long. So I knew that I had to get in the business of marketing. So I created, found, happened upon, whatever you want to call it, my marketing system. And it was good. I made $500,000. The end of that year, I was like, well, how do I get to that next level? How do I get to $1 million a year? I've heard of people doing it. I would like to make $1 million a year, but I didn't grow up with money, right? Like I mowed lawns with my dad after school as a kid, right? Like I had that kind of money. And so, I didn't know how to get to that next level. I was pinching myself for the $500,000, right? I was going to Hawaii for the first time. I was going to Alaska. I was spending time with my family. I spent a month in Brazil with my wife's family. Like life had changed. So to that next level, it's like, how do I do that? Like that was what I did already was somewhat impossible, right? That had to be God because there's no way in hell I did that, right? And so I was like, how do I do it? Like, how do I get to that next level? Invite me to do a self-help journal called Living Your Best Year Ever by Darren Hardy. In that book, it talks about whatever you want to receive, you have to give it away. So I created 3 big goals for the following year. One of those big goals was to generate $1 million in my wholesaling business, but I had no idea how. So that book said I had to give it away. If I wanted $1 million, I had to give it away. And that went in line with my core values and my beliefs, right? That if you want something, you have to give it. right? You reap what you sow. It's the golden rule, right? Like, so I was like, okay, how do I give away $1 million? And I thought, I could teach my marketing system. I could teach people how I generated $500,000. I teach that to 10 people. Boom, I'll make people well over $500,000 or over $1 million, right? It's like, I'll do that in 12 months, no problem with just 10 students. Brought on my first 10 guinea pigs, basically, right? Started teaching them what I knew and how to do certain things. And a lot of them had way more real estate experience than me, but I was giving them this marketing system, right? Yep. I quickly started having massive success with my students. My students started crushing it. You can see some of their success stories. One of my first students, Scott Dowager, $113,000 wholesale deal. That means he found a deal, found an investor, and got paid the difference. Didn't do any investing, no risk, nothing. $113,000.
And was that on a single family, or was that?
That was a single family home.
Wow, that's good. Portland. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a higher end market, right? But still, like, I have students all across the country. I just had a student do a $114,500 deal. He now has the record. It was like an 8-unit in Louisville, Kentucky. But yeah, it's straight wholesale, just boom, profit, no risk. Anyway, so my students started crushing it. But the craziest thing happened. The more I taught, the more holes I found in my own system, the more problems. And dude, I found a mistake that was like $100,000 in just a matter of a few weeks that I didn't have my texting system set up. So anyone that would text my postcards, I wasn't even getting the leads. I mean, I was that screwed up and I was still having success, right? I mean, I found mistake after mistake after mistake. And the thing that happened too is the more I taught, the more I invested in my students, the more that it required me to implement other people into my business to do it for me so I could focus on my students. And so then I started building a team. And as I started building a team, we had more success together than on my own. And by the end of that year, I did $1.2 million. I blew my goal out of the water and I was blown away. But the best part of this story, the best part is I found my life's purpose. I get emotional every time I tell a story because I love helping other people. I love it. I love seeing other people be broke. My most recent success story, Winston, he's a youth pastor in Texas and broke. And you can see on TikTok, you can see him talking about it. But he went to the grocery store after his first deal, right? And I think to this point, he's been a student for 5 months. He's made like 30, 40 grand with me, which is triple or double what he was making a year.
As a youth pastor, I'm sure.
As a youth pastor, yeah. So anyways, he went to the store with his wife, who didn't grow up with any money at all. And she said, I have never bought so many groceries at one time.
I love hearing those stories. It's very heartening, especially with people who don't have money. Yeah.
It's way better than money. It's way better than me making the money.
Yep.
It's way better. It really is. I like making money. I'm not going to lie, but it's that feeling, that helper's high, that feeling is incredible. It's purpose driven.
Well, hey man, I love your story, and there's a few things I want to get into the details of it because as you said, it's very easy to get overloaded with information when you get into real estate. And so I want to get a few action items that you can give people listening today. But before we do that, I want to just look at your story a little bit, because the things that I really liked about it is that you went through that stage of being disheartened with real estate, of like realizing, you did that first push into real estate and you kind of like lost your mojo. You lost your oomph to get through it, because so many people do that. They get into real estate and they realize it is freaking hard. Like, it's hard to do it if you don't have, as you said, a system to make it work for you. And that, I mean, I went through that disheartening phase. I know other people have gone through it as well. So if you're listener or watcher, or if you're a listener or watcher and you're in that stage, you're in the period where you're just kind of feeling burned out, you feel like you can't do it, know that you can do it, and there are ways to get it done. Other people like Zack have done it. So I like that you went through that. I like that you shared that with us. And I like that you just had to get to the point where you believed. You got that first deal and that just kind of clicked. You realized, okay, this does work. And that I feel like that is very important for anybody who gets into real estate. They need to have that first success. It's really easy to just keep grinding your wheels and not seeing anything. I know for mobile home parks, I worked 6 months without without seeing anything. We didn't have any money. We didn't buy any parks. 6 months, and I had nothing. And at the end of that 6 months, I was on the floor. I just didn't see it until we got our first deal done. Just like you get that first deal done, the lights go on, you realize, shit, this does work. It can work. It can help my life. So I like that you did that. You had that believe moment. So those are the two things that I really just want to highlight of your story, that, you had the moment where you're on the floor, you couldn't get out. And then you got to the point where you had success and you move forward. You got that belief in you. So let's go to the steps. Like you're talking about, I know you have the program 40K in 40 days, and you really want people to see success in wholesaling, because that's, in my opinion, I think it's a great way for people to get started in real estate. So how do you coach people? How do you suggest people get started when they have zero experience in real estate? They're just getting into wholesaling.
Yeah. So like I said, I got into coaching, right? I coach people. I have what I call my mastery program. You get access to step-by-step coaching modules. You get access to me as a coach. We actually talk on the phone. Like, I actually coach, right? It's not just a package of information. But that's not why I'm here, right? My goal is not to just sign up more people. I actually limit how many students I take on because I want to be engaged with my students. And so, not everyone that listens to this will or should, or I even want to apply for my program, right? Mm-hmm. But the reason I'm here, the reason I'm on this podcast is, remember when I said that I had that experience, right? With that seller that had these 2 rentals he didn't want to deal with, extremely wealthy. I really felt like that was a blessing from God. I felt like it was a privilege to have met that gentleman and to have met him on the moment that he was tired of these properties. And it gave me that belief, like you talked about, to have the courage to go for it again. I still had to pay for another coach and still had to figure stuff out, but I believed enough to not give up. Mm-hmm. And I think so many people don't have that gift. They don't have that belief, and maybe they won't be as blessed or as lucky as me and have that opportunity. Right. And so I was up late one night and I was like, well, how do I inspire? How do I encourage? How do I give that belief? Because without belief, you have no action. Without action, or without a lot of massive engaged and focused action, you don't have good results. If you don't have good results, you have even more negative thoughts and beliefs, and you spiral downwards and you have no success in your life. But if you can start off with a massive amount of belief in whatever you're working towards, you're going to give it 110% every single day. And you're going to hit obstacles. You'll be like, no, I just got to move through this obstacle because success is right over the other side of this. And you don't give up. And since you don't give up, you have success. If you have success, you have more confidence and more belief, and you spiral upwards in life. So I thought, how do I give that blessing to people? How do I give that? And it's like, well, the only way I got it is I got to see it. I got to experience it. So how do I let people see it and experience it for free? Right? For free. And I was up super late thinking about this. And like 1, 2 in the morning, I got out of bed and I started typing all my notes on my computer, what I was thinking, what I was wanting to do. And I decided that I was going to show people. And what I decided to do was to take $1,000 and turn that $1,000 into 40 grand in 40 days, doing exactly what I teach my students. And that is going out and finding sellers that want to sell for speed and convenience and moving those deals to a different investor or to wholesale them or whatever it takes to make that 40 grand. So I had to end the challenge just a little early because of family sickness. My father-in-law's in the hospital. I'm actually down here in Brazil, but only a few days ago, I was in Florida doing this challenge. I got 5 purchase contracts. I found the exact seller, almost same situation, extremely wealthy gentleman, a whole bunch of properties. He had 3 of them he didn't want to deal with. That was 3 of the contracts. I'm quite certain I'll make well over $100,000 profit in those 2-3 weeks I was there, right? From scratch. And I moved to a new market, so I didn't have the same connections because I didn't want people to see that it could be done anywhere. I chose Florida because it's not snowing right now, right? Like, I'm not kidding. I went to go get some sun.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I'm from Seattle.
All right, Utah, we've got snow. I keep having the people watching my house, like sending me pictures and there's snow on top of my truck. I'm like, oh, no, thank you. Yeah, but that's what I'm doing, right? That's why I'm here, is I want to tell you guys about the YouTube channel. I want you to be able to go watch me day by day and see what it takes and see the action steps and see that it is possible even in a competitive market like Tampa, or even in this competitive market where prices are super high, and right, there's always going to be an excuse not to try and to not go for it. But if you can see it happening, there's going to create that belief in people to go for it, right?
Yep.
So that's my take on where to start. If you're just curious and wanting to get into this, my invite to you is to go check out that YouTube video.
All right. And what do people search when they go to YouTube? Just your name?
Yeah, you can search my name, Zack Boothe, and find my channel, Zack, and last name is Boothe, Boothe. The name of the channel right now is DFD Mastery. So it stands for Driving for Dollars. So DFD Mastery. And that's my website as well, dfdmastery.com. That's probably the best place to go, dfdmastery.com, because there's a link to my social medias. So anything you want, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, all that stuff. Right. So I do a lot of work to put out content to help other people. So.
Yep. And I will put that. I'm sorry, I'm just typing in. So we got a banner down there. I will put that link in the show notes for people listening in the podcast. So if you click a little more in the description, that'll pop down the full description. In there, you'll see Zach's link. So just click through there and get started on this 40K in 40 days challenge. I really I like that you did 40 days, because it does take time. A lot of people think you can just jump in and just start making money, day one. It's not how it works, but it is possible. And so, yeah, I'm sure you guys will find success. Check that out. 40K, 40 days, dfdmastery.com. All right. So Zach,
to be fair, I had 4 contracts in 3 days. No, 3 contracts in 4 days. Sorry.
Yeah, that
it was
that is what you can hope for. That is what you can hope for.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey man, we've already pushed through the 20-minute mark. Before we jump into the quick question round, I like to give people actionable advice on every episode. So your focus is on systems, on marketing. Give us one piece of advice when it comes to creating a system that you can rely on to bring you off-market leads like clockwork. One piece of advice, be it a tool, whatever it is, go for it.
Yeah, so I use what's called driving for dollars, which is where you drive around and find the ugly houses. When someone has an ugly house, when someone has a property that's a thorn in their side and they don't want to deal with it anymore, they also don't want to deal with general maintenance. Tall grass, shingles. It works for multifamily. It works for single family. We drive around and add those properties. And that's what I use in that 40-day challenge. I'm proactively finding physical signs of neglect and proactively reaching out and calling those people to see if they want to sell. So that's why it's driving for dollars mastery, right? It is the most proactive and financially available way to do it quickly, right? So that's my advice.
All right. So I'm going to push us into the quick question round. We always start with books. To give you a little context, this is just going to be quick questions. I'm going to ask them. You give them back. Give me the answers back. Always start with books. Give us 2 book recommendations, one for real estate and one for general life wisdom.
Man. Anything by Brian Tracy or Stephen Covey for life wisdom.
Yep.
They're some of my favorites. I love Tony Robbins as well. Sorry, I know you want a book, but I love to read. I love to read. So I'll give you authors. Is that fair?
That's fair. Yeah.
And then real estate, for general education, anything from Robert Kiyosaki or the Rich Dad companies. So there's like ABCs of real estate investing, cash flow quadrants, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, tax loopholes. Like all those are great for general understanding of real estate. Some more specific, like actionable steps. Multifamily Millions is a good one because it breaks down, some of the terminology and what buy and hold investors look at and how they analyze investment properties. honestly, there's not good books on wholesaling, in my opinion. Maybe I should write one.
Yeah, I was going to say market opportunity there. You should jump on that. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the first three authors you recommended. Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits. That is the first self development book I read, and it's probably one of my favorites. That's a really good one to recommend.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward. So we all have strengths. We all have, things that we specifically are very good at. So this is an opportunity for you to brag a little bit, flex your muscles. What is your Superman strength? What are you really good at?
Man, that one caught me off guard. I'm good at making a decision of what I want to accomplish and finding a way to get there. Right. I can solve the problems that are put in front of me to achieve a goal, and to stay very focused on that goal until I've accomplished the goal and then some. So
love it. All right, next question. Habits. Habits are the foundation of our life. They kind of what move us forward. So what is the one habit that you can look at in your own life that you feel contributes the most to your health, wealth, success, all that?
Yep. I'm gonna piggyback off the last answer. It's, I don't have morning routines. I don't have the same time I wake up every day. I know a lot of people love that kind of stuff. I hate it because I don't like routine. I like adventure. I like different things. I like different tasks. I like new challenges. It's my personality type. I hate the monotony. That's why I don't have a job. Right. So I don't have any of those habits, and I don't think they necessarily are required to have success. But I feel like the one habit that I do have is I always have a goal. Always have a goal. I've always had a goal. And that goal doesn't necessarily force me to take the right action steps, like going to bed early or waking up because I have stuff to do, getting up at 6 or 5. Not because it's a habit and I have to, and I've set myself that standard, but because I have a goal and it's efficient for me to wake up to work on that goal.
Yep.
So I think having a habit of knowing what I'm working towards every day of my life, I mean, since I was a kid, since I was 15, 16 years old, really has driven me to be where I'm at.
Nice. I would call that the habit of purpose. I like that one. All right. So this is for your younger self. So if you could go back to the Zach who was, I don't know, just getting out of high school, didn't know what he wanted to do, go back to him, look him in the eye, shake his hand, give him one piece of advice moving forward.
And so much of who I am came from my mistakes. So I wouldn't want to tell myself not to make those mistakes.
Yep.
I would tell myself to love people, because that's what was going to bring me joy.
Love it.
And to make sure that every goal I had that as a main focus, because there's a long time that I chased money, aka my window cleaning business.
Yep.
And wholesaling even. And it wasn't until I found a purpose that I found a lot of fulfillment in who I am as a person. I mean, we all got to eat. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's probably the advice I'd give. But I don't know, because it was a beautiful thing to find that. So that's a hard one.
That's a hard thing about life, is that you can't really give your younger self any advice, because you got to live it. You have to actually go through life in order to have those lessons. So still good response. And this last question is for everybody who's listening and watching. You've actually already answered it. The question that I was going to ask is, where can people get in contact with you? You've already said it, dfdmastery.com. If you're watching the YouTube video, you see it right there plastered on the screen. For people who are listening and watching, again, click the little more in the description. That'll pop down the full description. In there, you can find the link, click through, say hi to Zach, and get in on this 40K and 40-day challenge. If you don't have any experience in real estate, I know it's overwhelming. I know it can be scary, but you can do it. And just based on this conversation with Zach, I'm sure this YouTube video could give you a lot of good belief in the process. So that's my little take on it. Zach, again, thank you very much for hopping on the show. It was, amidst COVID, I mean, you're a trooper, so I appreciate having you here.
Of course, I'll work till like 9 o'clock tonight. So I got 2 podcasts and multiple student calls. I love it though. But that's the beauty of doing what you love to do and being fulfilled by what you do. It's like I'm excited. I'm so excited for all the calls and stuff I have to do today. It's a huge blessing. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For everybody who is here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason that we do this, so we appreciate having you here. As always, if you have any questions, reach out to us, therealestateinvestingclub.com. We love to hear from you. Other than that, hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the ebook bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.